I usually wait until the end of these reviews to talk about the final score and what it means in the big picture. But obviously this time losing a final in this way and the frustration and disappointment involved are what's on everybody's mind. But please bear with me, we're going to get to what all that means at the very end as always, and we're going to begin at the very start. The man of the hour and the man of the game is the man of every finalist for Barcelona was Lionel Messi, and his availability for this match was a mystery. But he was back, starting in the match, Dest also coming back in, Messi and Dest replacing Braithwaite and Mingueza, a little bit of an upgrade to that starting 11 for Barca. This is the same attacking and midfield 11 that beat up on Granada, with the one change, the center backs being Lenglet and Araujo instead of Umtiti and Mingueza, so we know that this 11 can play. First 10 minutes of the match, Athletic Club were willing to play with the ball, forcing Barca to defend, which I think might have been a bit of a surprise to the Blaugrana. Neither team creating any chances though in the early part of the match, although unsurprising when you consider the way the finals are usually played. The first thing that did go in the referee's book though, a yellow for Lenglet. Araujo had him covered and he still committed the foul on Iñaki Williams, who had a step on him. Lenglet has continued to make me shake my head in disappointment. It left him the rest of the game to play on eggshells. It's not controversial anymore to say that Araujo is better than Lenglet, and this isn't just frustration because I know the final result. He's wrong-footed playing on the left, that being Araujo when Piqué is around, or when Eric Garcia is to arrive, but I'd still take a wrong-footed Araujo over Lenglet at the moment, and I think in the long term as well, because of where we know Araujo could still go. And I know he's only in his mid-20s, but I feel like Lenglet has already hit his ceiling and is merely on the decline. In that first half, I was trying my best to figure out what Athletic Club were doing to upset Barca's rhythm, and I feel like I kept overcomplicating things, but maybe Marcelino was actually switching it up a bunch. Usually it was just a 4-4-2 defending, but pushing up the line of confrontation to pin the center backs for Barcelona back near their own goal. Sometimes it was Vencedor and Danny Garcia man-marking one of Busquets, De Jong, or Pedri to disrupt build-up through the middle. When Barca went wide to the wings, the other midfielder would bust it to the sideline to cause the numerical mismatch and press that pass coming back to the middle, putting pressure on Dest, Alba, or Lenglet or Araujo trying to bypass that fullback. Barca were not crisp or clean with their passing though. They were sloppy and the disruptions were working, and that was probably the biggest part of it regardless of formation, tactics, or scheme. Zero crosses for Barca though offensively until the 29th minute. It came because Messi dropped deep and Busquets sprayed it wide to Dembélé. Barca were finding the match a little bit though, and so they were rewarded with that first goal. Starts all the way back with Dest getting fouled by Munian. Messi starts the attack, Dembélé cuts it back, reverse breaking the lines, and Messi's ball to Jordi Alba. Goodness gracious, don't take that man for granted. Alba cuts it back to Messi, you knew that was coming, and then Griezmann on the rebound puts it home. However, Barca, in finals, mentality, what's going on between the ears? Seconds later, the 1-1, Athletic Club get one back. Alba, terrible in losing DeMarcos. Iñaki Williams into the middle, allowed too much space, not closed out by Busquets. I think De Jong was in the area as well, Araujo, Lenglet, nobody to him, but still awful from Alba to lose his man like that on the cross because he was the one keeping him onside as well, so it's not like he could have gone for an offside trap. So that took us into halftime. It looked like it was going to be 0-0, but now we're at 1-1 at the half. Changes coming into the second, Dest forced off because of that injury at halftime for Mingueza. Almost the 2-1, Mingueza commits the foul on Munian and it leads to the free kick. Munian takes it and it's Raul Garcia on the header, Griezmann barely keeping him onside. Araujo getting screened, and Garcia is left open to get a clean header. Inigo Martinez was also goal side on Lenglet, so he might have scored as well, but it didn't matter because VAR said it was offside. But it should have been a warning shot for Barcelona to know that set pieces are something they should have taken seriously against Athletic Club. On the other side of the pitch, Messi didn't entirely look himself today. We knew that he was forced into the lineup, that he wanted to play the final, but clearly his movement, you can say that he walks around a lot, but his movement was clearly not what it usually is, and he was clearly still dealing with the injury. He did drop a bit deeper in the second half to get more involved, and that was good. It created a few more runs for Pedri and De Jong into the box from deep, trying to disrupt the Athletic Club lines. Seemed to re-engage De Jong into the match, honestly. He was finding more space to drive forward. And with that space came the 2-1. Barca, as I said, were starting to look better, and Dembélé switched over to the left momentarily, playing a 1-2 with Alba, and Griezmann finishing the cross. 2 goals for Griezmann. That's the reality, isn't it? If Griezmann is putting the ball in the back of the net, Barca have a chance at winning trophies. If Dembélé can attack defenses and stay healthy on the field, Barca have a chance to win trophies. I will say on paper, it makes more sense for Dembélé to try to get behind the defenders, but Barca were better when he was dropping in deep to receive. That's why you can't have set rules for how players need to play. exploit the space, as he did on the counter in the 84th minute. Unfortunately, Unai Simon was up to it and Messi's pass was a bit behind De Jong. And as they say, and I'm going to butcher this here, you don't know you're in the good times until they're gone. And that's what that pass from Messi was. You felt like, oh, Barca had the opportunity to put this game away. They're still going to hold on anyway. And then it doesn't lead to a goal. 88th minute, Barca's still trying to close it out. Pjanic on for Pedri and Braithwaite on for Dembele. The shape for Barca certainly broke down as those two were on to defend, on to help, and not really providing much going forward. So, what happens? A free kick coming late for Athletic Club. Honestly, maybe a second yellow anyway for Lenglet. Lucky to not be called, but nothing about luck in committing the foul. Villalibre gets on the end of it. Alba on the near post. Not only can he not clear, but it also looks like he ducked. So Alba, he showed you what he could do well today, and obviously Alba in finals and big matches shows you what he's also capable of in the most negative of ways. But Villalibre was either Mingueza or Araujo's man, and credit to Munian's ball as well, right where it needed to be for the 2-2 to send this to extra time. A few moments in the extra time, Iñaki Williams putting the game on ice. Even though Barca had close to 20 minutes left to go, you knew that that was the end. Munian given space in the middle, Williams with the golazo. What a goal by the number 9. Griezmann, Araujo, nobody closed him down fast enough, and he puts it past Ter Stegen, who had no chance at it. At that point, you knew it was over, and that's what's the biggest bummer from this match. Knowing that with 27 minutes more of action, that the match was done. Barca weren't getting an equalizer. That Barca don't have the proper mentality to recover from getting punched in the gut. 97th minute, Riqui Puig on for Busquets did add life into this game. Fortunately, Barca fans were at least able to have a little bit of hope because Puig was on at the end, but Barca were better in extra time, with the exception of the Unai Nunez miss that could have made a 4-2, then the ugly clash of heads between De Jong and Danny Garcia as well. So to start the second extra time, Trincao on for Lenglet. If he's going to have a moment, you would have thought that this would have been the moment for him, but as Trincao has been this season, he's being put in difficult situations and he's not coming up to the moment. Only 2 corners for Barca in this match, both coming in the second extra time. Zero confidence, though, that Barca can score on corners. It never happened, so 0 for 2, completely expected with that stat. Best chance of the second extra time, Alba to Griezmann. And Griezmann, he already had a brace, but he did have a lot to do here. Unfortunate miss at an unfortunate time in the match, and I don't blame Griezmann too much for how difficult that finish would have been. And yes, it does look really ugly on a replay, but a difficult finish it would have been. One of the things people are going to be talking about from this game, the late red card from Messi, feeling our frustration, the captain, tired of the late game histrionics from Villalibre, and finally, Villalibre earns his rolling around on the ground because Messi gives it to him pretty good. Messi's first Barca red after 753 appearances in the shirt, and certainly does feel like the end of times for Messi, as it has all season long, beginning with the summer. That means Barca stay at 13 Supercopas and Athletic Club win their third, just 1984, 2015, which most remember with Ernesto Valverde, etc., and now 2021 against Barca. What's more, Marcelino has won just his second top-level trophy in 753 matches. The last one came back with the Copa del Rey with Valencia. This stat courtesy Colin Millar, both coming against Barca. Before that, it was a second division title with Recreativa de Huelva back in the day. But all that fancy stats aside, keeping this focus on Barca, is that mentality issue down to Koeman? He hasn't fixed the problem, but I'm not sure he can really be blamed for it either. Maybe taking off Alba for Junior Firpo would have been the solution after the second Barca goal, but who knows? It's frustrating to lose a final. I know, it's upsetting, but we have to remember what this squad is. It's an inconsistent work in progress in a transition season. The Copa del Rey is still possible. The other prizes, not so much. But the youth is on the field, including now, maybe Puig, and I continue to hope that this is the first chapter of the next era in Barca's history. Now, if we could just have a president in charge of the club, but more on that on the podcast. And until next time, Força Barça.